Hey guys, Mr. Price here with the next edition of our Read Aloud. We are reading Because of Mr. Terupt by Rob Boyer. And yesterday we started the October section of the book. We read a chapter through Peter's perspective and also Luke's. And those chapters were about the plant experiment that Mr. Terupt was having the class do. They were just experimenting with different variables and seeing how the plant reacted to it. But the most notable thing was that Luke's concoction for feeding the plant resulted in a fire, a school fire. And the fire marshal had to come to the school. And so that is where we pick up with a chapter from Jeffrey. Luke was trying to feed our plant. I saw the smoke rising. I knew it was going to happen. Terupt did too, because I saw him go to the windows right away. Not fast enough, though. The alarm still went off. The whole school had to go outside because of Luke. When we came back in, some guy was walking down the hall with our janitors, Mr. Loomis and Mr. Ruddy. Terupt sent us into the classroom, but he stayed in the hall. I hid by the door to listen. All of it, the man yelled. I want all of it off the walls. He was pointing at our math posters. Mr. Loomis looked at Terupt. You heard him. He said, I'm not taking them down. Terupt said. You know who this is? Mr. Ruddy said. This is the fire marshal. Terupt said, I don't care who it is. I'm not taking them down. He looked at the fire marshal and said, you have no idea how hard my kids worked on these. He was pointing at our posters. He was pointing at my poster. It had one word on it. Stupid. And it wasn't even a dollar word. All of a sudden, I felt bad because I hadn't tried on Terupt's project. There were some more words said, but then the fire marshal left. The posters stayed. I hope he felt stupid. Terupt came back into the room. Peter was out of his seat. Mr. T, you just told that guy off, Peter said, dancing around. That was awesome. No, I didn't, Terupt said. Get in your seat. You shouldn't have seen that. But I saw it. And I heard it. Terupt stuck up for us. There's always posters up in the school halls, and they're never fire hazards. I think the fire marshal was just mad about our false alarm. And I think Terupt knew that too. He wasn't going to get pushed around. Our hard work mattered to Terupt. Even mine. I owed him now. I had to try. Even if only a little. And the next chapter that we have is from Anna. I didn't want my plant to die. I didn't want to put it in the box. Everybody was staring at me. I started crying. Mr. Terupt took me out into the hall. Anna, what's wrong? I don't want to kill my plant, I blurted out. My back slid down the wall and I put my head in my hands. We're not going to kill your plant. Mr. Terupt knelt down in front of me. Yes, you are, I said. If we put it in the box, it's going to kill it. We'll take it out before it dies, he promised. No, I don't want to hurt it. Tell you what, Anna. Let's do the experiments that are lined up for your plant. We have to because Danielle is your partner and she needs to do science too. Then, when we're all done, I'll let you take my plant, our control, the one we don't do anything to. I still didn't like the idea of hurting my plant, but I liked the idea of getting the control. I think he saw my hesitation. Plus, since you're working with Danielle, I have a feeling that your plant is actually going to be just fine. I don't know Danielle all that well. She's never been in my class before. She seems nice. I like her. Sometimes she's friends with Alexia. I don't know why. I'm glad I'm partners with Danielle and not Alexia. I've never been in Alexia's class, but I can tell she's mean. All the girls listen to her, though. Katie, Emily, Heather, Natalie, all of them. Not me. Stay away from her. My mom had warned me not to get involved in that popularity stuff. She was ostracized once. That means nobody wanted to be friends with her. Mom told me it was like there was a big group of people holding hands in a circle. She was never let in. She always had to stand outside the circle. Mom doesn't ever want that to happen to me. It was when she I can tell that she still hurts inside from all of it. Even her own parents shunned her. That's why she quit school shortly after I was born and moved out. She tried to move in with my dad. I've never met him, but that didn't work out. He left. Mom says we can talk about my dad and the whole situation when I'm older. All I know is that she says he's a nice man. My grandma and grandpa. I've never met them either. Still don't want anything to do with us. They moved far away after my mom moved out. My mom might be young, but she's still a great mom. She's my best friend, and I love her. If you love someone, you don't quit on them just because they make a mistake. Mr. Terupt helped me stand up. Trust me on this one, he said. Be positive. We headed back into the classroom. My plant went into the box and came out a few days later. A little yellow and without a lot of new growth, but it was alive. Turning it on its side wasn't harmful, so I was okay with that test. And then it was our chance to feed it whatever we wanted. Mr. Terupt was right. Danielle knew what she was doing. Here's a list of things we could mix together, Danielle said. I read the list. I didn't know everything on it. How did she? My grandmother helped me with it, she said. She's always been good at growing things. She's the reason we have successful crops on the farm. Both of us brought in some of the ingredients. We mixed them together and fed our plant. Ours was the only one to survive. It turned really green and grew and grew and grew. I took the control home, but Danielle and I decided to leave our plant in school. We kept feeding it and everyone watched it grow. It grew almost to the ceiling, wrapping itself around the cord to the blinds, all the way up. Then, one day, it was knocked over. Somehow our super duper plant fell off the windowsill. Nobody knows how it happened. I have a pretty good idea though. I bet Alexia did it. Because it happened when she was being nasty to Danielle. I'm thankful that Mr. Terupt let me take the control home. I didn't want her to hurt that one too. I liked being Danielle's partner. I wonder now if Mr. Terupt knew what he was starting between me and Danielle. I wonder. And we got time for one more today. We're going to read a chapter from Jessica. Act 2, Scene 1. My daily routine included lunch with Alexia and the girls, minus Danielle and Anna. They sat alone. And then recess. Alexia found it funny to see how upset Danielle would get. Right about this same time, I was finishing the book Belle Teal. I loved Belle. I wanted her to be my friend. She was honest and courageous. What would Belle do in my shoes? That was easy. She would do the right thing. And doing the right thing meant giving someone a chance. Danielle didn't seem anything like Alexia made her out to be. I decided it was time to talk to Danielle and find out for myself. Act 2, Scene 2. I set out to find Danielle the next day at recess. I spotted her from a distance. She was drawing in the dirt with a stick. Hi, Danielle, I said as I approached, clutching my latest book, Where the Red Fern Grows, close to me. What do you want? She shot back, jabbing her stick too hard into the ground, causing it to snap in half. She turned away. It sounded like she was crying. Are you okay? I walked closer. No. Lexi's being really mean to me, and it's all your fault. She threw her sticks onto the ground. My fault? She blamed me? Why didn't I see it coming? It made perfect sense. I was the new girl, and my arrival pushed her out of the group. I'm sorry, I said. I stood there. I wanted to be back in California anyway. I missed my dad. Danielle began scratching pictures in the dirt with her finger. I'm sorry I said that. It's not your fault. I sat down. It's just that Lexi's ignoring me, talking about me, saying mean stuff, Danielle went on. She doesn't sit with me at lunch. She's not playing with me. And now all the other girls are doing the same thing. They always do what Alexia says. Anna's the only one who's still nice, and I'm not supposed to be friends with her." "Why not?" I asked. "My family, especially my grandma, thinks she's a bad influence." "I don't get it." "My mom and dad used to be best friends with her grandparents, and—" "You mean her parents?" I interrupted. "No, her grandparents." Danielle stopped moving the dirt and sat up to explain. "My mom and dad are 47. They had my older brother Charlie when they were 20. The same time Anna's grandparents had Anna's mother. They were all friends at church. That's how they knew each other. Charlie's 27, so Anna's mom must be 27 too. And Anna's 11, I said, quickly putting all the pieces together. So that means her mom was 16 when Anna was born? That's right, Danielle said. And that's why your family, especially your grandmother, thinks Anna will be a bad influence? I asked. Yes, Danielle said. I think they figure Anna will be like her mother, and that's not the type of people churchgoers should associate with. I didn't like what I was hearing. None of it seemed fair to Anna, but I wanted to learn more about her mother's story. What happened after Anna was born? I'm not sure, Danielle said. I just know that it's only Anna and her mother now. None of that's her fault, I said matter-of-factly. Danielle nodded. She bent forward and started drawing in the dirt again. I decided not to push it anymore. She seemed upset by it too. I'll play with you, I said. You will? The hint of a smile spread its way across Danielle's dirt-streaked, teary face. Sure, and I won't listen to Alexia. I slid where the red fern grows off to the side and dug into the earth with my finger. I know that book. My grandma read it to me. It's very good, I said. Everybody always likes a character with a dog. That's something my dad told me. It's a sad story, Danielle said, but I won't tell you what happens. Please don't. We can talk about it when I get done, though. Sure, she said, shrugging her shoulders. We sat next to each other, scratching pictures in the dirt until the whistle sounded. Recess was over. We stood and brushed ourselves off. That was when I saw Danielle's dirt sketch of 2 dogs. That's a great picture, Danielle. Thanks, she said. I liked Danielle. There were a lot of interesting things to learn about her. I could tell. I grabbed my book and we headed toward the building. Then I saw Andring wandering over by herself. I wondered if she wanted to be a loner. Or did she want friends? Why did she try so hard to be invisible? Was she embarrassed by her family's situation? And how many people actually knew all that stuff about her mother? Act 2, Scene 3. I was walking with Danielle when all of a sudden she rushed ahead and hurried inside. Looking up, I found out why. Alexia got right in my face. Like, what are you doing? I thought I told you not to be friends with her. Alexia's head jerked from side to side as she talked. It reminded me of a bobblehead. She blocked my way, her hands on her cheetah-patterned hips. There's nothing wrong with Danielle. Besides, I can play with whomever I want, I said. Fine, then you're not my friend anymore, Alexia said. She knocked where the red fern grows out of my hands, then she whipped around and stomped inside. I wasn't upset, but I'm not stupid either. I knew Alexia was going to make my life miserable. That was her game. And she was good at it too. Still, I had no clue how bad things would really get. And that's the end of our chapters today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to complete your exit ticket and have yourselves a wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Bye.